Alright, so the first month in the year of ranked is over for me. I decided to open up with Street Fighter month, and it came with a lot of little things that I can look on and try and improve as I go through, but I wanted to talk about Street Fighter 6 in itself, and then maybe the thought process of the year of ranked in general, because we can kind of get into maybe some of the pitfalls or stuff that I fell into while I was going through this and having a pretty decent experience, actually. So for Street Fighter 6, let me talk about the rank system in general first. A bulk of the rank system that you would interact with as like a new to even intermediate player is the general ranked experience, where you rank up from, I believe the lowest is rookie, then it goes iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then eventually master. So a lot of ranked play takes place in this system outside of master rank, and that's largely where I ended up too. The system itself is kind of what I refer to as a number go up system. You generally will win more points than you lose. So in this case, on average, you're winning between 50 to 60 points, and then when you lose 40 points. The idea is you make your number go up, and you'll get to the next rank. Now, there's all sorts of bonuses in here as well, namely win streak bonuses. I guess not all sorts of bonuses, but there are win streak bonuses. So specifically, if you are below platinum, you'll get bonuses for general win streaks. So once you hit like 3, 4, stuff like that, you'll start seeing extra numbers added on as you rank up. And then once you're in platinum or diamond, and it wasn't always like this, but they have a win streak bonus for when you hit 10 wins. So you'll be receiving your normal 50 to 60, you'll hit 10 wins, and you'll receive it was something like 1,050 points. I'll talk more about this a bit later, because I ended up hitting what my initial goal was a lot quicker because of these win streak bonuses, and I figure I'll talk about that when I get there. So my experience with Street Fighter 6 ranked, before even the session, I had played it on and off, but nothing too seriously. When the game came out, I initially did my placements and Cammy, and I placed into bronze, and as I got more used to the game, I got win streaks up into platinum, and eventually got Cammy to diamond by win streaking really hard. And I had characters where I did the placements or tried to play them, and nothing really stuck. So I was glad to do this and actually kind of like stick with mostly a schedule that once I hit my goal, it kind of had fallen apart, and it's something I need to think about for these future months. The average session for me was about 2 hours long. I wanted to actually add more on to this, but this is usually about two-hour sessions, and it was 4 to 5 days a week, generally just during the weekdays. It would actually usually be Tuesday through Saturday, because I don't usually stream on Mondays because I try and just set stuff up for the rest of the week. So for this month of ranked, I decided to go with Elena, a character I hadn't played too much before. When she came out, I usually end up playing characters for an hour or two whenever they come out in fighting games, especially when I have the season pass for them and stuff. It's just something to do, check them out, see if something really gels with the character with me, like, very quickly. But Elena, I had played for a little bit, done her combo trials, messed around, but hadn't played too much online. So I wanted to play her initially to make the joke that I was pandering to Sajam to get into the Sajam Slam, because I know he's an Elena enjoyer from previous titles, namely Street Fighter 4. So I'm still going to run with that joke because it's funny. But also, I ended up just enjoying the character. I know if I wasn't having a good time on the character, I would have swapped much faster. As much as the bit can be important, if it's really ruining like my attitude, I don't like that carrying over onto stream or into videos. Like, it feels yucky to be playing a character I don't like and then putting that out onto display in the world. I'm not going to do that. So genuinely, with Elena, I ended up quite liking her. I don't think she fits my playstyle to a T. I still prefer characters like Cammy or Jury or even Jamie to an extent in this game, where they can push into an opponent's like attacking space a little bit easier. Elena wants to do a lot more hanging back and trying to whiff punish or trying to use very specific pokes to create openings to get her offense going. And I think I prefer characters that can walk up and be a little bit more aggressive. It's my personal playstyle preference, but Elena was still a lot of fun. And there was something else that I ended up being able to work on a bit, which is something I haven't been that good at in games, which was crouching or standing confirms. Elena has a lot of moves that will whiff on opponents that are crouching, so being able to identify this and adjust your combo accordingly, or go into something that will force stand for your combos to work. So with Elena, this was finding ways to combo into her crouch heavy punch, which will force stand. She can get this off a number of good normals, actually. Notably, after drive rush, she can do jab into crouch heavy, which is an extremely privileged thing, actually, that I didn't take advantage of enough, but I started to towards the end because it wasn't that natural. So with Elena, I ended up placing into Platinum 5. So the divisions I explained go like Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, and then within those rankings you have 1 through 5. Starts at 1, goes through 5. So placing at Platinum 5 meant I was just outside of the highest tier that isn't Master. So that set me up for like a decent grind to get through Master, and is pretty good placement. I know some of this gets determined by my other characters that I had played previously, so it tries to push you up if you have characters in Platinum already, basically. So that helped. And then the grind began pretty normally too, actually. After placements, I got placed into Platinum 5, and we had some trading wins. I think at the end of day 2 or day 3, I hit my first 10-win streak, which skyrocketed me into Diamond, and then once again started trading wins. And this felt pretty good. The system's designed to still make sure you're going up so long as you have even a halfway decent win rate. You can technically continue ranking up even with, I think it's something like a 44% win rate. As I said earlier, you're gaining more points than you're losing on average. You're getting 50 to 60 per win, losing 40 per loss. So as long as you're maintaining some type of momentum, you'll generally go up. I wish I had tracked this a little bit better. This might be a note for future months. But at the end of day 1, I believe I was 25 games in with about a 62% win rate. So I was going up pretty steadily, and it was kind of like a rank per day for a little while. I started in Plat 5, finished that day after placements in my matches a little past the halfway point in Platinum 5. The next day, I hit that 10-win streak and shoot into Diamond 1, like over halfway. Things balance out. I go through Diamond 1, Diamond 2 kind of normally, and this is where things kind of got exacerbated by the win streak thing. And also why I have kind of mixed feelings on it now that I've been in a system using it. But once I was in Diamond 2 and I started win streaking again, I essentially went directly to Master very quickly. I hit another 10-win streak. That quickly turned into an 11-game win streak and then 12-game win streak. And I went from low... it was either low Diamond 2 or low Diamond 3. And within those 3 games, I just got skyrocketed into Master. Now, when you hit Master rank in Street Fighter 6, the scope changes a lot. Rather than a number go up system, you're entered into a more strict ELO system. Much like chess, you start with 1500 MR, which is your master rating, and this is very akin to, if I recall at least, ELO system in chess will start you at 1500 ELO, and you have to lose a lot to get to your kind of allotted beginner ELO seating. And this is kind of the same in Street Fighter. Obviously, you spend a whole bulk of time in this setup, so you're actually learning stuff as you go into Master Rank. But the general experience people have is that they will get to Master and they will go on a pretty big losing streak, especially if they're newer to fighting games in general. I only played a handful of games in Master, and I think I was mostly losing. I had won one set. I'd won one set and won a couple games, so I was still floating around the 1400 mark, but it was it's definitely like a different feel, and I think it's kind of strange, especially with the way the win streaks work before. I kind of wish I had a little bit more time before hitting Master Rank. It was grinding a little bit more in Diamond. I know for me, I have past fighting game experience, so I'm able to learn a little bit faster, and maybe the win streaking is good in that sense. Maybe I shouldn't have been spending more time in Diamond. Maybe I should have been playing against people in Master earlier. That's something to think about. The overall experience of the Street Fighter 6 ranked that I had was good. After hitting Master Ranked, I kind of dawdled a little bit. That was kind of, even if I hadn't announced anything like it, in my mind, I guess, I was carrying that was kind of my end goal for the month. We would make like a drive to Master. And hitting it so early into the month, I kind of fell apart a little bit. I wasn't too sure what to do. I played a little bit in Master Rank, and I probably should have played a bit more, since it does feel like there's kind of a divide between the general ranked experience and then after you hit Master. But my motivation had kind of like dipped at that point because I was so satisfied with myself. I was so happy. I was like, yeah, I hit Master. So I started doing stuff like playing the new Diablo 2 ladder season, or like I started playing some other co-op stuff with friends, and not investing as much time into ranked. I think going forward, I should try to at least do more stuff that keeps me in the game I'm playing, even if it's not grinding ranked after hitting a particular goal. Maybe doing stuff like viewer matches, or trying to organize stuff to get other people playing. Maybe doing something like that. Or if I am motivated, to just simply continue the ranked grind. But I think each month should be a bit more dedicated to the game I'm playing, and it felt like it had kind of fallen off a bit towards the end with Street Fighter, which I'm regretting a little bit, but also this helps me formulate and think about it in advance. Overall, Street Fighter 6 ranked, quite good. I quite enjoyed it. And now moving into March, we will be moving on to Eternal Return, which is a MOBA battle royale kind of fusion. I started playing this game because they had a Guilty Gear crossover where they introduced a couple skins for their characters. So alternate outfits would bring Kai, Jacko, and Elfelt from Guilty Gear into the world of Eternal Return. Those are skins for Aiden, Aya, and Lee Dailin. And I am a big Guilty Gear fan. I like playing that game. I have a bunch of videos on the characters on the channel already, and I was very excited for that. And I was very surprised by the game. It's actually, I really fell in love with it at the time, and we couldn't stop playing it for a few weeks after we had picked it up on the channel. A bunch of people coming in, huge, lovely community. I really hope this game gets a bit more traction. Hopefully spending a month in it and doing some uploads will maybe help get more eyes on it. It would be really cool, even though I'm obviously a smaller content creator. This will be my first time interacting with a ranked system like this, but from what I understand, it's pretty typical for battle royals. I haven't played a lot of battle royals, at least in the competitive sense, but when I was going over the system on stream, there were comparisons made to, I think, Apex in particular. Essentially, since it's 8 teams of 3, there's a point system regarding your ranked as you enter and leave. So when you enter, you spend a certain amount of points depending on your initial rank. So the lowest ranks, you don't really spend anything. As you go up higher, you're like wagering more of your points, essentially. And then the points you get out of the match are determined by your placement, so your team's placement, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. And then also your number of team kills. So you could have a low kill game where you end up getting first place, you end up like squeezing by and sneaking out a first place win, and that could be worth a decent amount of points. However, you could have a low placing but high team kill game that would give you more points than your low kill high ranking placement. And I kind of like this. It means that there's an emphasis on engaging in what the game wants you to do, which is the team fighting aspect of MOBAs. And since you're in like a 3v3 environment, there's a lot of these that can trade back and forth. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. I have a couple characters written down. My strategy going into Eternal Return is, I believe I would just want to stick to one character while I'm playing ranked and just try and maximize that. My initial thought was I'll play Lee Dai Lin. She was the one that got the Jacko skin. I also am a fan of drunken boxing characters. It's funny coming off of Street Fighter 6 and not playing Jamie in that game for the for the rank sessions, but I think she is a very cool character, is a very cool archetype, but I'm looking at a few other characters too that I think might fit my playstyle a little bit better or might have a bit of an easier learning curve, especially doing more solo queue. I'm usually, when I've been playing this game before, I've usually been doing pre-mates with my friends, my girlfriend, stuff like that, so we'll see how it shapes up. But yeah, moving into Eternal Return month for the month of March, and I hope I'll see you all there. Have a good one, everybody. Bye. They're here. They're on the other side. Okay. Oh, I overcapped. I did the thing. Doesn't matter. I just punched her to death. Hey! Nice. I guess they only had 2 people.
Whoa. What the?
Thanks, guys.